Hey, this is Rodney Miller with Hard Money Partner. Today we're doing Newbie Ask Questions program, or Help a Newbie. We'll call it Help a Newbie. That's a good one. And I got Stephan on today, along with Rex Baker and Ryan Davis. Stephan is in the hot seat. He's the newbie wannabe investor, and he's been working at this for a little while. I've been kind of with him on occasion, just talking to him about real estate investing and entrepreneurship. And so he's been looking at this for a while and hasn't made a lot of headway. So we're going to let him ask us some questions and see if we can help him along. So welcome, Stephan.
Hey, it's good to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a business student. I go to the University of Central Oklahoma. I'm a business major with a minor in real estate. I am 22 years old, and I've been really interested in learning more about real estate ever since I met Rodney. So I just wanted to learn more about it, learn more about wholesaling, learn more about how to potentially own my own properties in the future.
So the first thing we talked about the other day is he came to me and said he had about $5,000 saved up and wanted to buy his first rental.
Right.
And I told him maybe that wouldn't be the best move at this point in his life, that he might want to try another avenue to put some money in his pocket. Maybe flip a couple deals, wholesale some deals. I told him he could go find us a mobile home park and we'd pay him $20,000 so he could start knocking on mobile home park owners' doors. But so we'll just kind of go through some questions. You got some questions for us, Stephan?
Yeah, I got some questions.
All right, well, fire away. What's question number one?
First question is, how do you determine a value of an investment property? So when you're looking or wanted to just flip a house, how do you approach it? How do you do the numbers of that property?
Let me ask you this. How many books have you read on flipping houses?
I read 2 books on flipping houses.
Did they cover that at all?
Most of them did not. That's why I was watching more of YouTube videos of Max Waxwell, and I just like people that just do wholesaling deals. So I just been watching more YouTube videos and actually reading books.
Did you get any information from them on how to value properties?
I have, but where I struggled at was just having like the correct numbers. That's where I kind of struggled at, is just like making sure that I'm doing my math right and all of that.
Okay. Ryan, how would you put a value on a property if you didn't have access to the MLS?
Use county assessor records, use Zillow, use any, realtor.com. There's various online sources. You don't have to have access to MLS to pull and look at past sales in that area. And you find the closest, most recent comparable houses that have sold for what your house is going to be when you're done with it, and that's where you get your value.
Okay.
And find a realtor. Find somebody you work with. Tell them when you flip a house, you're going to sell it through them, and get them to partner with you on it. That's the quickest way to do it. Get another realtor working with you.
Okay. Would you say, for my second question, would you say that it's easier to just get your realtor's license, or and wholesale at the same time, or just find a realtor like you said?
I don't think a realtor license is at all necessary to be successful if you want to be a real estate investor. Does it help? Yeah, you get access to the MLS and you can do these comps yourself on the MLS, but in some cases, go ahead.
For a newbie investor that's never done a house, just being a realtor for somebody in a transaction, you get to see numbers and logistics of a transaction that you won't see otherwise. So I don't think there's a downside to it. It's not like you're going to start out flipping 20 houses a year. Just getting 2 or 3 transactions that you've been a realtor for under your belt is pretty decent education as to how things happen without risking your money at it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like John Privet, my realtor, Stephen is he's also an investor that I've done some joint ventures with. So he kind of works it, unlike myself. And I know you were a realtor for a time, Ryan. I mean,
Yeah.
But I mean, John goes out with the, he is advertising kind of like we are to get leads on properties, motivated sellers. But his first thing is to try to present it to them like, well, I shouldn't say his first thing. He presents them an offer first, but then he also gives them but if you don't like those numbers, here's, sign up with me and, let me list it for you. And so, I think that's as a way to get some income without having to put your own money out on the line, other than getting your license and maintaining your license and being part of a brokerage. And certainly there's a cost to that, but I mean, you kind of gives you a different avenue for income, which sometimes I wish I had, because, I go out and shoot them a lowball offer and they say, hell no. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll call you in a week and see if you've changed your mind. And then they've, gone out and signed up with a realtor to put it on the market, and maybe I could have gotten that listing. So I don't think it's a bad thing to be a realtor, especially in today's market, as tough as it is to buy a house, and with so many guys out there, trying to chasing the same deal.
Right.
You
Anyway,
got to be careful though, because you see a lot of guys that go into that and they kind of they do kind of the realtor thing and do the investor thing, and that realtor thing will pull you in, and next thing you know, you'll be a full-time realtor.
yeah.
You don't want that either. You don't want to become. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you want to be an investor, that's going to be a little bit of it's going to be pulling you the other way. Being a realtor is more an administrative position.
Well, both of you guys, although I've never been a realtor, I've never had my license. Both of you guys have had your license. I mean, you were a broker. You were a broker, weren't you, Rodney?
Yeah. And one thing I found, at one point we had that model to where when we were buying a lot of houses and wholesaling, we would present them with the realtor option. Like, if you don't want to sell it, we can list it for you. But it didn't seem to really help us. Like, I think we missed a lot of good wholesale buys because we confused them when we made them an offer to list it, and they didn't take us up on it. But now they got in their head they can get more money out of it. I don't know. It never worked for me to try to wear both hats, but things might be different now. I don't know, but
I mean, I think it's, I think it's really how you approach it,
Sure.
I think, John's pretty dogged, man. I mean, when he goes out there, he's trying to either get him to sign a contract or, to sell to him, or he's saying, you got me out here, let me list it for you right now, So, I mean, he pushes that pretty hard. It's not just because it does screw up some of your deals. If you offer them, you're saying, well, I'll list it for, just making up numbers. It's $100,000 house and you're offering them, 58 or whatever. And then they say, well, what would you list it for? Well, we could list it for 80, but then, of course he explains to him, you're going to have to do all the repairs, and, you're going to have to pay the 6% and the 5% for the closing costs and all of that. Anyway.
But if it's a good flip, you might be talking yourself out of a $20,000 profit.
Oh, exactly.
To make $3,000 realtor fee. So that's you got to be careful
of. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
That's a lot to think about, because I had like a couple of my friends wanted to become investors, but they were at the point where they wanted to get the realtor's license to, be able to find the properties a lot faster and all that. But how do you, for my third question, how do you find that property that you could potentially flip, or how do you find that house or that deal?
let's back up a little bit. Most of the great deals that you're gonna make money on are not on the MLS. So your friends that were gonna become realtors to get the great deals, that might have been a bad plan. I mean, I've never gotten maybe one or two great deals out of hundreds on the MLS, but that's where all the buyers are. That's where they're bidding them up, and it's a feeding frenzy. I think you'll find these guys, like myself, we like to go out and find the buyers before anybody else finds them. And so that takes marketing. But Ryan, Rex, you guys want
to? There's not really any magic trick to it or any. I mean, there's countless avenues, and it's either you're going to spend money in advertising, or you're going to spend time in, driving for dollars, foreclosures, tax sales, all the other various things. So you're spending time or money. There's no,
Right.
Yeah, the time part, knocking on doors, meeting wholesalers, going to all the real estate club meetings, trying to pick up deals from wholesalers, knocking on doors, doing door hangers, whatever you can do to get out there and find a deal. The alternative to that is spending money, doing postcards, doing Google pay-per-click, doing, any variety of marketing. So you're going to do the money thing, or you're going to do the time thing.
How would you deal with competition?
Don't worry about competition. You just do what you do. And there's competitors in anything that's worth the crap. You're always going to have competitors. But there's nothing you can do about competitors. You got to worry about yourself.
I get that. After, let's say, I marketed and I find that house, how do I come in contact with you investors? How do I find an investor to potentially make a deal with me for that property?
Like, how do you wholesale it to somebody?
Yeah, how do you wholesale it to somebody?
Ryan, Rex?
Yeah, a lot of wholesalers now are just putting them on. They're listing them on the MLS, which is one avenue.
There's Facebook groups, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. See them everywhere.
The real estate investors clubs, they have websites that the investors, guys that put houses on that, they're just looking to either assign the contract or do a double close on. So,
do you remember what I told you yesterday? I texted you.
Yeah.
You need to kiss a lot of frogs and turn over a lot of rocks.
Right.
And when you're kissing frogs, you need to build a database of those frogs. So you need to be going to all these investor club meetings, and you need to be building your database. You need to be every I buy a house sign, you need to be calling those guys and putting them in, get their email address. You need to be building your list of people that are going to buy these deals off of you. It's just going to take a lot of, shoe leather, getting out there, meeting people and building your database, building an email list. So when you find a good deal, you can email it to all these people. You can take it to the local real estate club, take a flyer up there. You could, you need to be putting the work in to build your network right now.
I know, like New Western, that's one of the big wholesalers here in town. Yeah. They do they especially have their young guys that are, either on the buy side or the sell side. On the sell side, they have these guys go out and put signs up on the corner, handwritten bandit signs that say, 3-bed, 2-bath, needs work, great deal, $50,000. Whether they have a house or not, they get a lot of calls off of that, and they're trying to get all those people's emails that are looking to buy a deal. Because there's, right now there's always people looking to buy. There's a lot more buyers than there are sellers, and so, but that's how they build their buyers list is through using that, just a cheap sign. That and they I mean, I don't know how many calls they get, but I've called those guys on, not numerous times, but several times. And it's New Western. It's just it's a newbie there that's trying to build his buyers list, So that's, and same thing on Craigslist. You do the same thing on Craigslist or on Facebook. You know, you do a teaser ad out there, and you get all these, you get all these nibbles of people, and you get their name and their email, ask them what they're looking for, and then if you get something under contract, you fire it out to them.
How many Facebook groups are you in for real estate locally here for Oklahoma City?
Locally, I'm in 3. I'm in the Millionaire Possibility. There's I'm in the meeting with Jack and one more.
Yeah, there's Oklahoma Real Estate Wholesalers, Oklahoma's Real Estate Investors Club. If you get on those, I see it every day. People say, hey, I've got a deal. And like 50 people give their email addresses. Just go scrape those off and put them in a database. And before you know it, you'll have 100 buyers. And that's all you got to do. You'll have more buyers than you need.
Oh, wow.
That make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. Cool. What else?
Because I'm gonna be sharing this video to people. What does ARV mean?
After repaired value.
After repair value. And that's just like the numbers after you evaluate the numbers of how much.
That's after you got it fixed up and you got it on the market. That's after you put your money into it, put the granite countertops in it, made it nice and pretty, and now you're selling it retail. That's the after repair value. Yep. You need to read more books, my man.
Right. What books would you guys recommend reading?
That's really basic. You really need to hit the books. You need to read more books, and you need to just go throw a rock in the Barnes and Noble, and you'll hit like 100 how to flip houses books. Do you guys have a specific book that you think he should read?
Or more YouTubers that you guys recommend?
There's one good book it's kind of funny because it's been around since the 50s. And it's one of the better ones out there that I've read. And it's nothing changes. Just you can just add a couple decimal points to the dollar figures because he's talking about $15,000 houses and stuff like that back in the 50s. But it's How I Turned $5,000 into $1 Million by William Nickerson.
I think I bought that book and you told me about it. I never read it, but I might be able to find that for you, Stephen. I'll look for it, see if I got it somewhere in my library.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah. If I have it, I'll let you have it.
Most of these questions I have are redundant of what you guys already answered, like pretty much. What's the yeah, you guys pretty much answered all these questions that I had all lined up.
It just boils down to this, Stephen. You got to get active. You got to get more active than you are. You've got to get out there and you've got to take somebody to lunch, buy them a cup of coffee almost every day. You've got to turn over rocks and kiss the frogs. You need to meet all the wholesalers. You need to meet, like you met with Jack, right? Jack Klein yesterday?
The other day, yeah.
Good. You just need to meet with folks like that, but not once a week, not once every 3 weeks, like daily. You've got to get very active. You need to go to all the real estate club meetings. You just need to get active, man. You need to get in there. And at the same time, you need to be reading as many books as you can. You need to know all the terms, ARV, rehab costs. You just need to do it all, man. You need to hit it. You just need more education. Tackle it like you would like a college course. And if you want to find deals, you just got to knock on a lot more doors too.
Stephen, I heard you mention that you're at Central, or what I call Central State University of Central Oklahoma, and you're majoring in business or do you have like a real estate? Is it a minor, or is it?
Yeah, it's a minor.
Huh. Interesting. So what does that entail?
It kind of.
What are they teaching you?
It entails anyone that's interested in learning more about real estate, and potentially you'll get your realtor's license by the end of the semester. And
okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much.
So it's more geared to being a realtor than it is to being an investor. It sounds like.
Yeah. I recently just started a program So we're just learning the basics of that right now.
And when you graduate, and you'll be a realtor. You'll have a license, huh? That's cool. That's really cool. I think that's neat. So I got a flyer yesterday. Some guys wholesaling two mobile home parks. One was in where were those, Rex? One was in Minnesota and one was somewhere else. I can't remember where, but people wholesale like you would a house, flip a house, wholesale a house, wholesale apartment buildings and mobile home parks. That's why I told you, you go knock on a bunch of doors, you find us, Rex and I, a mobile home park, we'll give you $20,000. I mean,
I've been giving phone calls right now. I've been making a list.
yeah, start making those phone calls. Go drive up on them. You know, try to catch mom and pop there, and you know, all you got to do is put us together with the sellers. Tell them that you represent buyers, and there you go, man. That's money in your pocket. Once you got money in your pocket, you're gonna be dangerous. Then you can do some mailers, or you can do some bandit signs, and you can do something,
Right.
you know, marketing wise, and it'll make more sense.
Right. I've been making phone calls, trying to get more in contact.
Good. Very good. Well, if you don't have any more questions, we're gonna end it. You got any more?
Yeah, thank you for just answering all my questions and
Get out there, man. Get out there and buy somebody some coffee. Good brain. Make some connections. That's all about connections.
Right.
All right, brother. All right, man. Good luck.
Thank you.